Welcome to Workers.com's Staffing Pulse, Insights from the Frontline, your twice-weekly source for real-world perspectives on staffing and recruitment. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Rod. Today, we're diving into a topic that's critical for so many industries, especially skilled trades and construction: skills-based hiring. We'll explore how this methodology can help close that persistent talent gap.
That's right, Rod. The manufacturing, construction, and skilled trades industries have been talking about a talent shortage for years. And it's not just about a lack of people, it's about a lack of qualified people with the right skills.
Exactly, Shelby. And for a long time, the traditional hiring model has relied heavily on formal education, degrees, and years of experience listed on a resume. But that can be a barrier, especially for individuals who have gained their expertise through apprenticeships, on-the-job training, or vocational programs.
Skills-based hiring flips that script. Instead of looking at a diploma, we're looking at demonstrable abilities. Can someone actually perform the tasks required for the job?
It's about assessing competencies. What specific technical skills does a candidate possess? What soft skills, like problem-solving, communication, and teamwork, do they bring to the table?
And for skilled trades, this is incredibly relevant. Think about a welder. Do they have a degree in welding? Probably not, but they might have spent years mastering different welding techniques, understanding metallurgy, and reading complex blueprints. Skills-based hiring focuses on verifying those practical abilities.
Absolutely. And for employers, it opens up a much wider talent pool. They're not excluding potentially excellent candidates who might not have followed a traditional academic path.
Let's talk about how this actually works in practice. What are some of the key components of a skills-based hiring process, especially for these industries?
One of the first steps is to clearly define the essential skills needed for a role. This goes beyond just a job title. It means breaking down the job into its core functions and identifying the specific skills required for each.
So, for a construction project manager, it's not just manager. It's understanding project scheduling software, budget management, risk assessment, team leadership, contract negotiation, and knowledge of building codes.
Precisely. And then the next step is about how you assess those skills. This is where it gets really interesting for skilled trades.
Instead of just asking about experience, employers can implement practical assessments. This could be a hands-on test for a mechanic, a welding test, a coding challenge for a programmer, or even a simulation for a heavy equipment operator.
These assessments provide objective evidence of a candidate's capabilities. They remove some of the subjectivity that can creep into traditional interviews.
And it's not just about technical skills. Soft skills are equally important, especially in collaborative environments like construction. How do you assess those?
That's a great point, Shelby. For soft skills, behavioral interview questions become crucial. Instead of asking, "Are you a good team player?" you ask, "Tell me about a time you had to work with a difficult team member. How did you handle it?"
Situational judgment tests can also be effective. You present a hypothetical scenario and ask how the candidate would respond, revealing their problem-solving and decision-making abilities. For example, in construction, you might present a scenario where a critical material is delayed. How would the candidate adapt the schedule? Who would they communicate with? What solutions would they explore?
And then there's the credentialing aspect. Many industries, particularly skilled trades, have certifications and licenses that are direct indicators of specific skills and knowledge.
Yes, absolutely. Recognizing and valuing industry-recognized certifications, even if they aren't part of a formal degree, is a cornerstone of skills-based hiring. This could be OSHA certifications, trade-specific licenses, or even certifications from equipment manufacturers.
So, to recap, the key elements are clearly defining essential skills, using practical assessments to verify those skills, focusing on behavioral questions for soft skills, and valuing relevant certifications and credentials.
It sounds like a lot of upfront work for employers, but the benefits must be significant. What are some of those benefits you're seeing, Rod?
The most obvious benefit is access to a wider talent pool. By removing the degree requirement as a primary filter, employers can consider candidates who might have been overlooked. This is especially true for individuals from underrepresented backgrounds or those who have taken non-traditional career paths.
And for the candidates themselves, it offers a more equitable path to employment. If they have the skills, they can prove it, regardless of their educational background.
It also leads to better job performance. When you hire someone based on their proven ability to do the job, they're more likely to succeed. This reduces turnover and the associated costs of recruitment and training new employees.
Think about a construction site. If you have a carpenter who can accurately read blueprints and execute complex joinery, that's far more valuable than someone who just has a general construction degree but struggles with the practical application.
And for the employees, it can lead to greater job satisfaction and career progression. They feel valued for their expertise and have a clearer path to advancement based on their skills development, not just time served.
This can also foster a culture of continuous learning. When employees see that their skills are recognized and rewarded, they're more motivated to upskill and reskill.
Absolutely. And in industries like manufacturing and construction, where technology and techniques are constantly evolving, that continuous learning is paramount.
Let's talk about the challenges. It's not always an easy transition for companies. What are some of the hurdles employers might face when moving to a skills-based hiring model?
One of the biggest challenges is shifting the mindset. For decades, HR departments and hiring managers have been trained to look for degrees and specific years of experience. It takes a conscious effort to change that ingrained way of thinking.
Developing effective and reliable skills assessments can also be a challenge. It requires expertise to design tests that accurately measure the required competencies without being overly burdensome or discriminatory.
And then there's the integration into existing HR systems. Traditional applicant tracking systems are often designed to filter based on keywords related to education and experience. Adapting these systems to accommodate skills-based data can be complex.
It also requires a different approach to job descriptions. Instead of listing a long wish list of qualifications, job descriptions need to be more focused on the essential skills and competencies required for the role.
And for internal training and development programs, they need to align with the skills being assessed. If you're assessing a specific welding technique, your training needs to cover that technique.
It's a holistic change, not just an isolated hiring practice. It needs to be embedded within the company culture and talent management strategy.
But the investment is worth it, right? Especially when you consider the cost of not filling critical roles.
Absolutely. The cost of a vacant skilled position can be astronomical. Projects get delayed, productivity suffers, and the company's reputation can be impacted.
Let's bring it back to the talent gap. How specifically does skills-based hiring help bridge that gap in manufacturing and construction?
It democratizes access to these industries. It opens the door for individuals who might have been discouraged by the traditional educational requirements. Think about individuals who are excellent with their hands, have a knack for problem solving, and learn by doing. Skills-based hiring actively seeks them out.
It also provides a clearer pathway for career advancement for existing employees. Instead of waiting for a promotion that might be tied to a degree they don't have, they can focus on acquiring and demonstrating specific skills that will lead to advancement.
And it encourages partnerships with vocational schools and apprenticeship programs. When companies actively seek out skills, they're more likely to invest in and collaborate with organizations that are directly training those skills.
It's about recognizing the value of diverse learning experiences. Not everyone learns in a traditional classroom. Many of the most skilled tradespeople have honed their craft through years of practical application, mentorship, and hands-on problem solving.
And by focusing on skills, employers are better equipped to identify individuals who can adapt to new technologies and evolving industry demands. A candidate who demonstrates a strong aptitude for learning and problem solving, regardless of their educational background, is often more adaptable than someone with a rigid, traditional qualification.
Let's consider some concrete examples of how this might look for specific roles. For a machinist, what would a skills-based assessment look like?
For a machinist, you might have them set up and operate a CNC machine on a test piece. You'd assess their ability to read blueprints, select the correct tooling, program the machine, and perform quality checks. You might also have them troubleshoot a simulated machine malfunction.
And for a construction electrician?
An electrician might be given a schematic and asked to wire a specific circuit, ensuring all safety protocols are followed. You'd assess their knowledge of electrical codes, their ability to interpret technical drawings, and their precision in their work.
These assessments aren't just about a pass or fail. They provide valuable data about a candidate's strengths and areas for development.
And that data can then inform onboarding and ongoing training. If a candidate excels in one area but needs development in another, the employer has a roadmap.
It creates a more personalized and effective employee development journey.
So, for companies looking to implement skills-based hiring, what's a good starting point?
Start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire hiring process overnight. Identify 1 or 2 critical roles where you're experiencing a significant talent gap. Then, work with your experienced team members to define the essential skills for those roles. What do they actually do on a day-to-day basis? What are the must-have competencies? Next, explore different assessment methods. Can you partner with a vocational school for practical testing? Can you develop simple job-relevant simulations or hands-on tasks? And crucially, train your hiring managers. They need to understand the principles of skills-based hiring and how to conduct skills-based interviews and assessments.
It's also about communicating the change. Let candidates know that you're valuing demonstrable skills and that their practical experience is highly regarded.
And don't forget about the technology. Explore applicant tracking systems that can support skills-based profiles and assessments, or consider supplementary tools.
This is a journey, not a destination. It requires continuous evaluation and refinement.
The manufacturing and construction industries are at a critical juncture. The demand for skilled labor is only going to increase. Embracing skills-based hiring isn't just a recruitment strategy. It's a strategic imperative for survival and growth.
It's about building a workforce that is not only qualified, but also adaptable, innovative, and engaged. And skills-based hiring is a powerful tool to achieve that. It's about recognizing that talent comes in many forms and that a traditional degree isn't the only indicator of capability.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for joining us on Workers.com Staffing Pulse, Insights from the Frontline. We've explored the power of skills-based hiring and its crucial role in closing the manufacturing and construction talent gap.
We hope this has given you some valuable insights and actionable ideas.
Join us again on Thursday for another deep dive into the world of staffing and recruitment.
Until then, be sure to subscribe and follow the podcast on all major platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Meantime, be sure to keep building those skills.